Hey, I am back like a bad habit. Yes, I'm shooting this kind of sideways. Sorry. Let me see if I can get it. Actually, I don't think this is going to work. I'm going to have to park it right here. Anyways, this is Shane. I've been gone for about a month. Um, I promised a Michigan vinyl update part two. That's not going to happen. Mostly those were cheap records I got off somebody's basement, and a lot of them it's just like common stuff, and I decided just to go against that. But since it's been a month, and if you've seen the channel, you know in a month I'm going to buy a lot of music. Sorry about the black back hair. I'll try to cover it up the best I can, but let's see if I can. And anyways, so I have a huge vinyl update here for you. I need to move over a bit and get out of that shadow. Let's see if I can get this right. Now I'll stop. That should do it. That should do it right there. I have a huge vinyl update for you. I'm just going to grab my water and we're going to go through and I'm going to show you everything I got. I got a few things from some different places I bought online and so on, and then just my regular pickups. Real quick, I just want to say real quick that the reason I haven't shot a video in about a month is because I just haven't had space on my phone. And the fool that was me got Instagram, and I made a huge mistake by getting that. But I have so much shit to show you. It's not even. I have a huge stack of records here and so much to go through. But I'll get that in a minute. But I had Instagram, and then it was only saying I only had like 30 minutes on my phone and shit like that. And if you've seen the videos, you know that I take my time in these videos, and they usually last an hour. So my apologies for that. But I'm back. Tampa Record Show is this weekend. I don't know if I'm going to get a lot. Birthday show. Sarasota Record Show is next weekend. Birthday show. My birthday's next. The following weekend, along with Sarasota Record Show. I'll see what I can do then. But let's get into it. I'm just going to show. I got this package from Rotten Princess Records, label out of Grayling, Michigan. I'm just going to show real quick what I got from them. I ordered about $20 worth of stuff, and they gave me a lot more than that, including Dead Baby Birthday Party, the band, and Underground Underwater. I think this is just a I think this is just a cassette with singles on the first side and the second side from Dead Baby Birthday Party, and I'm not sure where these guys are from, so I just it's gotta get out of my face. Yep, I'm not sure where these guys are from. So anyways, I want to go through these kind of fast. There's the package again. As you can see, it says up here Rotten Princess Records out of Grayling, Michigan. And what happened was I bought a record from one of these bands. I started corresponding with them, and all hell broke loose, where I was like, next thing I know, I'm like buying stuff on their website. I sent them some demos of my stuff. I haven't heard back. I guess I don't care if they want it or not want to release it or not, because it's so, this is almost like a label they run just for their friends. Got a DVD, and that is Boy Mouth, because we're retarded. It's the videos. So a lot of this stuff I picked up. I picked up 5 things, and then they gave me like 5 other things for free. So this is the band Boy Mouth, and that is the back of this. Grayling-based band. That kind of weird. They go hardcore punk, even grungy punk, into noise and electronic stuff. It's hard to say what this band is supposed to be, but this is the kind of thing you get with these labels. I love it. I love it. And I researched all this, of course, but researching it and then remembering it are two different things for most of this. So anyways, that's the videos from Boy Mouth. I want to go through these kind of quickly. This I just listened to this morning, MK Ultra Drive Volume 1, a compilation of artists on the Rotten Princess label, including I'll just give you a quick list in case somebody out here actually knows of these bands besides me. I think this has got The Gutters, Cats Not Cops, Gone to Croatian, The Human Virus, Mickey and Goo Goo. There's the name of the list of the acts right there. A bunch of acts I've never heard of. But Rotten Princess is trying to, like, and I'm trying to coordinate some sort of noise thing between them and some of the other bands down here. So far, not so good. But yeah, Rotten Princess. That's MK Ultra. MK Ultra Volume 5. Another compilation. I'm not going to pull out the artist. I don't have the time. Another compilation record from Rotten Princess Records. So a bunch of different artists that I think are on their label. So pretty cool. The Human Virus. I'm excited about this one. I believe this is a Portland band, Noise. It's the I'm Poor and This Is Your Christmas Present Volume 9. So yeah, I think this is kind of noisy from what I can remember. You know that this is cheap when it's on a Home Depot. You know, I love this kind of thing though. This really attracts me. This kind of homemade, low budget production is I'm a fan of it. So The Human Virus, Xmas Volume 3. And look at the back of this just to show you how cheap this shit is. I mean, this is, to me is fucking excellent. I love it. Just to show you, like, CDRs, like, fucking awesome that it's this low budget. I've been wanting to make this video for a while, like I said, but I think it was I had Instagram or something. I just didn't have enough phone space, and I had to keep figuring out how to clip videos off my phone. And I figured out it was the Instagram yesterday. I deleted it, and yeah, I was able to shoot again. So happy to do that. Another Boy Mouth record here. It's Because We Are Retarded. Looks like this looks like a studio album. Let's see a close up of that in the back. Because I kind of like Boy Mouth. Salutes the True Genius of Man. Are We Just Degenerates? Another Boy Mouth CD. This one has just 3 singles on it. Crash and Bird, Side B, Side M, Commit Suicide, and Garbage Dump, the old Charles Manson song. I'm excited to hear their version of that. Boy Mouth is a cool band. This is a band that I just started getting myself turned on to. And of course, if you talk to anybody about it, no one knows who they are except for the band and their friends. Boy Mouth, it's because we are even more retarded than when we started. So this is another, it looks like a compilation album. Yes, 2021. So another Boy Mouth record. So yeah, they gave me a lot of their stuff. On this one, I actually ordered from them. This is Boy Mouth with Tatter Barrel in the Backpack of Secrets. So like I said, I'm really excited to have this in my collection. So those are all, I think, is that it? Or do I got one more? Oh, I do got one more. So this was really like $25 for all this stuff. But this is pretty much everything they have in their store. I like try to order a few other artists, but they're like, you know, so I'll have to wait. But this is Sea Rabbit and the Lady Bunnies recorded live. Sea Rabbit and the Lady Bunnies recorded live. So this was actually recorded probably in this store. So pretty cool. It's kind of interesting because I sent them my stuff, and my stuff is so much more like fucking lo-fi than anything they could do. So I find that kind of interesting that my stuff I feel like is much more lo-fi than theirs. This next one was from I think is it Iron Lung Records? I believe it is Iron Lung Records. I got a few CDs and a few cassettes. The cassettes are Aberrat and Grounded. I think this is kind of noise grind. I don't remember, like I researched these bands and then I completely forgot. This is the demo. So My guess is like kind of noise grime. If anybody knows Aberrant, let me know. It says a cute noise manufacturer, so probably on the noise aspect of things. Cicada, True Self Destruction, another band I've not heard of. This is got, I think, 3 songs on it, so it should be with these cassettes. They were about $5-6 a piece, so I just took a chance on them. Though that's the one thing when you get cassettes like this, they don't put enough songs on them. I hate these kind of short things, but sometimes it's good to listen to it and then listen to it again, or burn it to a DVR or a DVD if you like it. So Cicada and the True Self Destruction. I think this is another noise band with some grind elements. Somebody will tell me if I'm wrong. This is Prowler Demo, and I'm guessing this is kind of probably death metal or grindcore death metal. Prowler. So yeah, 3 songs on each side. So, and that one was like $8, most expensive thing. This altogether, this package I got from both these stores, Iron Lung Records, I believe it's Iron Lung, and Rotten Princess. I probably spent $80 between both of them. I did not spend a lot of money. And this last one is First with Desecration Anxiety. First, FEFRRSE. And this is Total Noise, I believe, from what I can remember. Just on that label. This looks like it's almost a full-length album, or at least a multiple song EP, or maybe 1 or 2 long pieces, I don't know. So First, FRRSE, like I said, First. And the 2 albums I picked up from Iron Lung is one I got Lambenden Toten, long-standing Portland hardcore band with Synapse Noise Dissociation. So I think this was that they did a live Iron Lung show with a bunch of bands on it, and this band performed live again at this show. I think that's what this is. It's a live recording. Lambenden Toten's been around for a long time, making kind of like crust, D-beat, noisy hardcore, And I sometimes I'll admit I don't know what the difference between D-beat and crust is, so sue me if I'm wrong. And Revenge. This is a 4-song EP. Really happy to have this. This is this is kind of 70s classic punk sounding stuff. I want to say I don't know if this is a British band or not. It's on the In the Red label or not. I'm not sure where these guys are from. I think they are British. Revenge, but 4-song EP. Yeah. First reissue of the UK punk band's ultra raw, ultra rare 78 singles. Epitome of the essence of 3-chord punk. So pretty simplistic, noisy 3-chord punk. Sounds like it. Sounds good. I like old punk bands. I love to buy stuff that's old. I had a Total Punk thing. I kind of went nuts and went into a bunch of different places and ordered shit, and then found out that I just didn't have the money. So all these different stores, including Total Punk, I have an order in there that I haven't bought anything from there. So that's going to have to wait a while. A few here. These are from the same band, and this is a project out of Virginia. This is Doberman's Shadow with an Insatiable High. These all the next stuff I picked up is just from Jerk Dog Records here in Bradenton, Florida. Synthy noise punk with a bit of a garage feel to it. I'm really like I've said it before. I'm really kind of had my last say with garage punk, and even synth punk doesn't really get me. But the owner said that this was like experimental electronic music, and it certainly, I guess, if you want to really lean towards that, it is, but it really is not that. So it's like synth punk was, it just got some noise aspects to it, kind of drony and parts, but that's kind of what this is. So this is one of the albums by Doberman's Pinchot, Skin, or wait, sorry, An Insatiable High, sorry, An Insatiable High. And then here's the other one by Doberman's Pinchot. This one is called Skin. Same thing, kind of that grimy sort of synth, noisy synth punk stuff. It's not bad at all. These two by Doberman's Shadow, not bad at all, but just definitely, like, I've kind of had my fill on this shit. Here's a hardcore from Yaj Punk Collective. This is Reguagistate and Inept a Split. This one was 12. Now this is hardcore, I believe. Some of this might even be in the grindcore element, but I think it's in that sort of style. And my guess is some D-beat and some crust, or either or, in the sort of a grindcore. And the noisier end of things is this split. And that Doug does not get the stuff in the store often, so when I see it, I snag it, you know. And last but not least, I picked up from, no, I did not. I did get two more, I'll show you the two CDs, or two other cassettes. This is Ghost Bitch, and this is Blood and Honey. This is this was $9 off the K label. That's Calvin Johnson's label. Ghost Bitch, she's from Australia, I believe, and this is, of course, you would think with Ghost Bitch it's going to be under the thing of Sonic Youth, right? That because they have a song called Ghost Bitch. Off the album that's got the shit, I can't remember, Burning Moon album maybe, or EP, or whatever that is. I think it's on that. But this is sort of, I guess you could say, Sonic Youth inspired, but that's where it kind of ends. It's very noisy, lo-fi, sort of experimental indie rock. It is kind of indie rock. I wouldn't really call it punk. I was going to order this on the K Records label a few months ago, so I had heard about Ghost Bitch, and I was able to get this at my local record store. Doug, you're doing a great job. He's getting some really quality cassettes, CDs. I mean, really, really good stuff, and not to mention records. I mean, his store has become much, much better over time. And then I just picked this up over the weekend, and I've been looking for this one. Soundgarden with Screaming Foss Fop. So, yeah. So, pretty cool. This is a compilation of their first two EPs, Screaming Life and Fop, and I think these go back to 1987 and 1988. Technically, if you merge them together, I guess you could say it's their first album. Yeah, you know, if you wanted to. And this is the kind of Soundgarden that I kind of like and kind of champion, because this is this is what I liked about Soundgarden. You know, even Louder Than Love and some of Bad Motorfinger. And I'm a big fan of, I still like Super Unknown, and I forget the album after that, Down on the Upside or whatever. I don't even remember the name of the album they made after. I know that's wrong, but whatever the name of the album after Super Unknown, I've heard and liked too. Just haven't listened to it a lot. But this earlier stuff like appeals to me more. This does get some of that bluesy sort of, I guess, grunge or whatever you want to call it on here, but it's also a lot noisier. Songs, I mean, they do actually do a cover of Swallow My Pride, the old Green River / Mudhoney song, which I like, but songs like Little Joe, Hand of God, Kingdom of Come, that kind of reminds me of some of the Ultra Mega kind of thing going into Louder Than Love. But it's really, to me, Hunted Down I like quite a bit, but Tears to Forget, that song on here is fucking awesome. I wish they were doing more of that kind of shit, because that's the kind of stuff that really excites me that they did. It's so noisy, it's like punk. It's fucking awesome. And it's my favorite song by Soundgarden, by like a mile away. And I love a lot of Soundgarden shit, but even Black Hole Sun I love. But this song, Tears to Forget's my favorite. And I'm not one of these people that thinks the earlier stuff's better. For example, I know that's not true, because when I think of the Police, my favorite Police records are the last two they made, Ghost in the Machine and Synchronicity. So I'm going to put these in order of what I paid for these. A lot of these are on the higher end, so this is going to be one of the better quality hauls I've had to show you. And let's just start it. This one's a double album off the Vanguard Cardinal series. This is Moliere. This is the Resurrection Symphony, Symphony number 2, known as the Resurrection. Powerful stuff. No one, well, I shouldn't say no one, but no one used emotion to manipulate sort of a power in classical music quite like Moliere did. You know, I mean, Wagner did for sure, where power was really important. But there's something about this and the scales that are used in this that's absolutely stunning. And yes, I will show classical music to the day I fucking die. I don't care that it's cool or not cool. I like it, and it's good education for those who want to get into it. Not that I'm a teacher. I don't think I'm a teacher. I just show you what I know. Wonderful stuff. Moliere's symphonies, his first, I don't know, 6 or so, are just stunning. And this one is no less stunning than the other ones he's done, at least that I know of. And I don't know how many symphonies he's done. Like, I don't know everything about him, but I just know there's just a lot of power in it. Like, and in that way, it's weird because, like, when it comes to power and that kind of thing, it feels like to me like that's more like kind of Wagner thing or even Beethoven. But with Moliere, it's because of all this built up emotion. Like I said, it's quite good. These are kind of throwaway records for a lot of people. These were all $3 a piece, and it's the same artist. And I kind of want to just talk about him. And I remember reading an AllMusic review for one of his albums, and they said one of the more underappreciated artists of the 80s. I was like, yes, absolutely the truth. And somebody I'd been dipping in and out of his stuff for years, but let's give this guy some credit. This is Robert Palmer in Pride. This is an 83 album. A little dancey on this one. There's a few really good tracks on here. Dance for Me, You Were in My System, which is right downright kind of cheesy 80s. A few really good songs. Pride is great on here. The title track. Like dance pop, rockish. Not quite as new wave as the album I'm going to show you before, but still a pretty good release, 1983. Robert Palmer. This is a great album, Clues, by Robert Palmer, 1980, on the Island label. And I think Pride is on the Island too. Yeah, Pride is on the Island label by Robert Palmer. This one, 1980 release, and wow, what a stunner. What an absolute stunner record. This is my favorite record by him. Like a lot of records, there's a lot of diversity on there, soul, island music, rock. On this one, there's some great new wave. His cover of Gary Numan's I Dream of Wires is fantastic. Johnny and Mary's great. The bouncy, catchy Looking for Cues is great on here. This is a really solid record by him. I would definitely, like, if you're going to start someplace with Robert Palmer, this would be the place to go. I was talking to the owner about, just to show you, it's got that island thing. I'll just show you one island at a time. But yeah, and I'll even get 70s Robert Palmer, and I'm going to do so right here with Some People Can Do What They Like. So this definitely has like island rhythms on this, calypso, even almost reggae rhythms on this, along with some good pop and soul and rock. This came out in 77. Is it 77? 76. So 76, one of his earlier albums. Man Smart, Woman Smarter is fucking awesome. That's the reggae track on here. It's great. It's super catchy. Got a Grip on You is great too on here. Hardhead. The Rockin' Off the Bone is a great track on here too. This is a fucking good album by him. Some People Can Do What They Like. Earlier Robert Palmer, and then late 80s Robert Palmer. The follow-up to Riptide, this is Heavy Nova, which I have on cassette, and CD. I think I have the trifecta now, or I've had the CD. I don't know if I have it now. Great record. This, of course, has the big single on here, um, "Simply Irresistible." He does a great cover of the Gap Band's "Early in the Morning." Um, let's see. "She Makes My Day" is pretty good on here. Oh, the awesome. There's a few really great tracks on here. "Casting a Spell" and the fucking awesome sort of late 80s new wave-ish cryptic weirdness called "Disturbing Behavior," which is fucking awesome. There's some really good tracks on here too. Like I said, Robert Palmer really, and I've been doing this where I covered Johnny Rivers, I think, and who else did I cover? And another one. I know Johnny Rivers was one, and was it Roy Clark maybe? Covered artists that don't get a lot of love or don't get a lot of like where people talk about them. And Robert Palmer, and when I was a kid, I just thought he was kind of annoying, but you know, Bruce Springsteen, Nebraska, getting ready for the new Springsteen biopic coming out. Pretty excited about it, even though it looks a little artsy, pretentious to me. I don't give a shit. I'm gonna go watch it. I love the boss. And this is an album, which I guess you can look at it a few different ways. I think it's brilliant. I think it's a great record. I just love the chances he takes on this record. It's absolutely fantastic. Just like almost demo recording qualities. And somebody like Lindsey Buckingham gets the shaft for doing it, gets shit on for doing it. And even George Harrison, I think, did something similar to where the thing sounded like a demo. Springsteen gets lauded for it, or gets applauded for it, but for good reason. This is such a good record off of a Columbia label, 1982. I don't got anything bad to say about this. Is a great record. I mean, it's dark. Atlantic City, Nebraska, Mansion on the Hill, Johnny 99, State Trooper, Used Cars, Open All Night might be my favorite song on here. Reason to Believe is wonderful too, kind of an anthemic optimism, I guess, maybe. I don't know. The Boss. All right, this one is called Rhythm Stick, The Adventures of Mickey Band. This is really cool. It's a double dance record that came out in the late 80s. This is dedicated to Michael J. Lewis, the original Mickey Man, and I think Rhythm Sticks was just a label, and these are a bunch of artists that were on that label. Yeah, it looks like it was just a label, and for DJs only. So DJ use only for these two albums. And this has got, what's really cool about this is it's got the songs here, and then this little booklet with the songs on here too, which is cool. And these are kind of George Monroe's version of I'm Not in Love" is really cool. The old 10cc song. Debbie Harry's on here doing their version of Rapture 1988, which is cool. Like that's kind of what it is, like a dance thing. Shakespeare's Sister's on here with a song called "Break My Heart." Womack and Womack with "Conscious of My Conscience." It's a great dance track right there. You know, some of these acts I have not heard of, but it's pretty cool to have. I almost was going to sell this, and I decided to keep it just because it's pretty cool. This one was $10. As soon as I was intrigued by it the second I saw it, and I did some trade, and I got some of the stuff in trade, and I think I picked this one up in trade. Place to Bury Strangers. This is a great record by them called "See Through You," and this came out in 2022. I'm not sure what you would call these guys. Shoegaze / post-punk. It's probably more on the post-punk side of it, maybe. Very moody, atmospheric. This is excellent. The songs just have this certain intensity that never wavers on this. Songs like "I'm Hurt," "Dragged in a Hole," "I Disappear When You're Near," "My Head Is Bleeding" is really cool. There's some cool tracks on this. I've never really listened to this band, Place to Bury Strangers, but this makes me want to go out and buy more stuff by them. This is off the Dead Strange label. Death by No, it's just this Dead Strange label. And I think this is cool with the eyes in there. I'm just going to show this because it's colored vinyl. For 10 bucks, I thought this was kind of cool, and it is really fucking good. Really, really fucking good. So, these are going to start bumping up in price, but like I said, I got so much good quality. This is a LA-based band, and this was on the Cargo music label going back to 1998. This is Naked Aggression with Gut Ringing Machine. Late 90s, sort of noisy. I don't know if I'd call it post-punk or just punk. Definitely some noise. I thought some of this kind of sounded like L7. There's, I think, female vocals on this. I liked it. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, please post below. I think they're female-led vocals. It's punk, you know. Kind of not. I don't know if you'd call it hardcore. Maybe hardcore. I don't know. Cargo label is a great label. Anything I usually see on that label, which isn't much anymore, but back in the 90s, it was like, yeah, I get it. This is really good hardcore from Oakland, but I think these guys are from Japan. This is Audio, and the album is called Ancora. So Japanese hardcore. This is noisy as hell. This one, like I said, was 14 bucks. Japanese style hardcore. It's got a bit of a gauze, and I would even say as far as Gizm kind of feel to it, but definitely gauze. Sorry, gauze. I can't even think. Gauze. But even some of the songs have go on a more of a noisier route and kind of remind me of somewhat of Gizm. But I'd say kind of probably more. This is crusty and stuff, so a little bit. So Audio with Ancora, pretty cool. This was 14. This one was 17 and really interesting. This is Sharpies, and this is an Agro Aussie Anthems. So this is supposed to be like a street punk oi compilation from Australia. This is a lot of like kind of proto-punk or even just kind of obnoxious rock and roll in a way, and maybe some of it's punk. But when I was thinking Skin and Oi, I was like 72. I'm like, they weren't making street punk back then, were they? I don't know. But the Sharpies were gangs in Australia, and they were pretty fierce. They liked to fight, and yeah, this has got bands like Johnny Dick, or artists like Johnny Dick, Fat Daddy, Colored Balls, Skyhooks, Rabbit. I've heard of Rabbit. Yeah, this is really cool. Kind of, I love compilations, especially foreign compilations. This one was 17. It was a no-brainer for me. This one I'm actually going to give to a friend, so I'm not going to keep it, but I decided to show it to you anyways. Social Distortion, Miami's Little Monster. This is a great record. This goes back to, what, 1982. This is off the Kraft label. You could even hear some of that, what was going to become like Social Distortion later on, even into like Prison Bound kind of rawness, like supercharging rawness in it. But it's a far cry from, this is a far cry from like fucking Somewhere Between Heaven and Hell and the albums they made afterwards. I much prefer like the more raw sounding stuff, although I'm a fan of like some of those later albums by them. I'm just they kind of lost me in the mid 90s, and not that I was forever, I was a fan of this band, I can't deny, but never a diehard fan like my friend Justin was, and my friend Courtney is a diehard fan of this group. Her favorite band. This has got Another State of Mind on it. It Wasn't a Pretty Picture. Hour of Darkness is great, and of course the punk classic, Miami's Little Monster. This is kind of more in the hardcore, or at least punk vein of what Social Distortion was doing early on, and it's an absolute classic, Miami's Little Monster. Really cool to have this, a 2019 reissue, and this has got a picture with a band and stuff. I'm fucking hiking through this today. I'm going to be done way early. I thought it was going to take me forever, and it's not. So, because I got to make dinner yet, I got to shoot yet, I got so much shit I got to do today. It's not even funny. It's me being stupid. All right. This is brand new. I got a few things I'm going to show you today that are on the brand new spectrum of things, and this one definitely is brand new. Yeah, brand spanking new. Like, I think this just was released. This is the latest by Sick Thoughts. Another piece of plastic off the, I believe this is off Total Punk, isn't this? Off Total Punk? No, off of Rock Records. But I think Total Punk distributes a lot of Sick Thoughts stuff. Sick Thoughts is Drew Owens. If you're not heard of Drew Owens, kind of a one-man band. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Jay Retard as far as like making music and just non-stop making music, kind of like he's got the heart of a warrior, like that kind of thing. And this is absolutely fan-fucking-tastic. Kind of more on the heavier edge, kind of dabbling into hardcore on this. Unfortunately, the problem with him lately has been you only get 5 songs, so like he hasn't made his. I had his last album, I think it was called Blitzkrieg something, Rock and Roll Blitzkrieg or something like that, and that only had like 4 songs on it. So, dude, make a fucking album again, would you? Satan is Real. I think is that the yeah, Satan's for Real. I think that album, or was it Mama Like Satan or whatever? That album was a full-length album, and my favorite thing by him that I've heard. He is nasally as fuck. Like his voice can kind of get on your nerves a bit. But I see that in the last few years he's really getting heavier. I think he was in a metal band too, and I'm trying to remember the name of that metal band. It's on the tip of my fucking tongue, and I can't remember it. But I am not a fair weather fan. I am a fan for life with Drew Owens and Sick Thoughts. So this to me is absolutely wonderful. So yeah, absolutely wonderful. So. Yeah, it's good. Like I said, his shit's getting heavier and heavier and heavier and heavier. So, yeah, he started out kind of being more kind of pop punkish maybe, but like I said, he is gonna. And I haven't heard all his music, just the stuff since that Satan is for Real album, or Mama Loves Satan, or whatever the name of that album. I can't remember off the top of my. And I've been following him ever since, and I've bought and everything by him ever since then. But it seems like he's getting heavier, you know, and getting out of that sort of Ramones worship that he was in. But his stuff is so great because, like, he's so cynical in a way, but humorous in a way that it's awesome. Ohio's own Necros, yes, a classic by them. This is Conquest for Death, one of their few albums that they ever made. Kind of in that Minor Threat, Circle Jerks universe, I guess. I kind of like this band. There's something about them. They're like, it's hardcore. Like, if you've heard hardcore from the 80s, a lot of it doesn't delineate. But if you know what the band's well enough, you kind of know they have something personal. Like, to me, it's like, obviously, like, Bad Brains doesn't sound like anybody in hardcore to me. And neither do Dead Kennedys, to be honest. But some bands have their own personal, like, imprint. And Void being another one. There's a ton of bands that, you know, you can go down the line that sound different, I think. Even Husker Du's earlier stuff. But yeah, Necros is good stuff. It's almost like, you know, like just fucking politically snotty or politically charged hardcore. It's good. You know, I mean, to just break the fucking conventional thing, no, but I don't care. This came out in what? I don't remember what year this. It was in the 80s at some point. I thought 86, but I think that would be too late for hardcore. So maybe before then, maybe 83. Somebody could tell me when this Necros came out originally. All right, we're getting to the end now, guys, and I thought for some reason this was going to take hours to do, but I guess I didn't show a ton of stuff, and I kind of went through some of it fast. This is the next two are kind of in the same vein of kind of industrialness, and this one was one I just saw and I just could not let it go for $25. And this now I think I have their first two albums. Now I have their third album, the Fragile Nine Inch Nails. This is really cool. It was $25. $25 for this, and this could have been like a $40 record easily. I'll show you a $40 record later. But yeah, this is really cool. It's a gatefold. It's got 3 different albums on here. And these I think are just on black vinyl. Maybe that's why. Yeah, this is awesome. Awesome shit. The follow-up to Downward Spiral. And I like this album. It took a while to kind of get used to it, I guess is what the right word would be. But it's got the booklet in it too. There's a day that the day that never went away, or whatever it is. I think is on this album. To be honest, I'm not really familiar with all the tracks on this album. Like I know the tracks better on the first 2 albums, but I remember really liking this. I feel like this is kind of almost like progressive for him. Like the songs seem longer and more, I say technical, but more drawn out, I think, than the sort of like sharp edge burst you got with some of the songs anyways with Downward Spiral. I don't think there's a song on Downward Spiral or on this album, The Fragile, that's quite like Hurt or Closer, that has a familiarity to it. But it, as an all, if you look at it in its totality, the way it kind of just interconnects, it's a labyrinth of just beauty and darkness and everything you love about Trent Reznor, and I love about Trent Reznor. I can't believe this is in my home. And here's another band that's kind of on the industrial side too, but a little bit noisy too. And so I don't know how to describe this. I think I showed you guys in one of my previous videos his second album. This is his first album. This is, and it might gross you out, but I'm going to show it anyways. This is God is War with Predation Perfected. So kind of a on the, what label is this on? I can't remember what label this was on. I thought these guys were on the Flenser label, but I can't remember. But LA based. I'm going to set it down just so it's not, somebody might be traumatized by that for some reason, especially if you're sensitive to animal cruelty or whatever. But anyways, it's really kind of fucking like, I'll just show the back again. God is War is kind of like electronic mixed with experimental mixed with industrial, and it stays in all those things, but I would say it's mostly kind of experimental, if that makes sense, because there's no vocals. It's all instrumental. It's wild is what it is. And God is War is actually a guy from LA, and I don't know his name, but I have 2 albums by God is War now, and I'll buy more, maybe, unless they start reissuing their 90s stuff, because I sure as hell got the rest. Another record by Dead Can't Dance, and that is Garden of Arcane Delights, the original 12-inch single, the RPM single. So early, I think, early, it's like an early EP, early 12-inch single of Dead Can't Dance. Plus it's got the John Peel sessions, and so it's a compilation album. So you got a lot of tracks on here. There's at least the Arcane Garden of Arcane Delights has 4 singles on here, and then John Peel Sessions has about 7 or 8 songs. That's a double LP. You know, I mean, Dead Can't Dance. Like I feel like I've since I've started my reformation reclamation project with these guys. I feel like these guys can do absolutely no fucking wrong. In my, I mean, like any band can. Don't get me wrong, but like everything I've heard, I've loved. I've been sucked into this group again after liking them sparingly in the '90s with albums like In the Labyrinth and Spirit Chaser, which I do like. I've never been like a huge diehard fan of Dead Can Dance, and lo and behold, they're fucking sorry about that. Lo and behold, their fucking albums start going for $22 a piece. I'm getting kind of getting bored with hardcore punk and metal, so I say, fuck it, I'm gonna start buying this stuff and give it a chance. In the last year or two, I've pulled out so many of these great albums by Dead Can Dance. Now I'm almost gonna be a fucking completist and look for everything by them. But I don't see any of their '90s stuff out yet. I'm waiting for that to get reissued. Um, and go from there. But I have mostly everything they did in the '80s. I think I have everything they did in the '80s. So if I didn't, I do now with this, which is I think, like I said, an earlier EP. This I just got, and this is a brand new one too. As I showed you that Sick Thoughts that just came out a few weeks ago. This one came out, and I picked it up Saturday, and it's been out for probably a week or so. So a lot of people are going to show this in their vinyl pickup, so I'm not going to take too long on that. And this is Buckingham Nicks. This one was $26, and like I said, I don't really need to go into depths on this one. I mean, their first album. It was the album that I want to say I think Mick Fleetwood had heard stuff off this album, or had heard about Buckingham anyways. And Lindsay said, I'll join your band, but she's coming with, and that's Stevie Nicks. So they joined Fleetwood Mac, and there goes history from there. This has a little bit of that sunshiny-ish pop California kind of thing, pop rock, a little folky, but definitely you could hear those great Buckingham and Nick's melodies and vocals. I mean, it's so good, and it's really just kind of like Fleetwood Mac in a way, except for it doesn't got Mick Fleetwood or John McVie or Christine McVie, but it kind of is like a Fleetwood Mac album. And Buckingham, I feel like, doesn't get a lot of love for the sort of good work he does. So the next two I'm going to show you are oddball ones, to say the least. I mean, these are fucking oddball, but I had to get this. I was talking, because I've been looking for this, and if Jello Biafra is out there right now watching this, which he wouldn't, because he'd have something better to do, but he would be happy with this choice. And this is Robbie the Werewolf. At the Whaleback. So, there's the back of it right there. If you're guessing and you're looking, you're thinking 60s. You are right. This was released in 1964. 62. Jesus Christ. And reissued on the Outsider label. I'm not sure how to describe Robbie the Werewolf. He's a comedian. And I can't even think of his full name. It's Robbie Robinson. Robeson is his name. But he's a comedian, but this is kind of like novelty music, pop, sort of folk, sort of whatever, with all the songs are kind of, or most of the songs are kind of fucking related to horror. So that's a big fan. That makes me a big fan. Vampire Man, Frankie Stein, Censored Man, Dracula, Count Dracula, Censor Man, sorry, Count Dracula, Lucifer, Rockin' Werewolf, Tiptoe Through the Wolfbane, Streets of Transylvania, Inside Story of Flamenco, and Censored Dooley. That is kind of funny. So I've not listened to this all the way through. I've heard a few songs, and it's an awesome lost piece of novelty goodness that used to be rare, but now you could find it. Now it was picked up by the Outsider label, which is awesome because this was a rare and more of a collectible record at one point, kind of a lost record at one point. And I saw Jello Biafra showing this in his Crate Diggers in one of the episodes of Crate Diggers. So yeah, I can't even do his voice. And here's another strange one, and I'm really excited about this because this is the second release off the False Prophets label, and I would wish they would start like picking up shit because I think this is going to be one of my favorite labels. But this is Jim Jones Live. This is at the People's Temple, a gun to the People's Temple. Yes, this is the infamous Jim Jones speech, which I have on cassette too, released by False Prophets Records. So this took place November 18th, 1978 in Jonestown, Guyana. Commands his people temple to commit an act of revolutionary suicide. In this recording, you will hear the final moments. Reverend Jones and his followers make the case for poison as one brave soul defiantly opposes. So I'm hoping, it says it's the complete unabridged recording. So I'm hoping this is the speech. It's very eerie if you've not heard this. People crying as he's trying to encourage them to drink themselves to death with the Kool-Aid. Flavor Aid is what it really was, I believe. Not Kool-Aid even. And so to me, like, this is haunting to me. Like, when I first heard this, it stuck in my grill forever. And I'm not buying this to exploit the victims. I'm buying this because it's a piece of history more so than anything. And it's always kind of, and I'm a true crime buff too, but you know, it's always important to kind of go back and look at this kind of stuff and see how this happened. And hopefully will never happen again. You know, it's a total tragedy here. So Jim Jones, a gun to the People's Temple. This is awesome. They also, False Prophets also recorded or released Barbara the Witch, and she's explaining that she's a witch and stuff like that. It's another spoken word oddity on their labels. And they're about $30 to $35 a piece to order them. But those are the only two records I saw on their online that I saw. So that's it. We're almost, well, we're going to be done after this, and that will be it for tonight. I mean, I can't believe I got this done as quick as I did. I really thought this was going to take an hour and a half or whatever, but I scrolled through this shit tonight. I went through it real fast. This one was $40, which I never like to pay $40, but for some reason I saw it and I said, Shane, this will pretty much, like, you don't have to really get anything else by this band on vinyl, although I would probably pick up one or two of their albums on vinyl, but not necessarily I'm gonna go look for them, like, because I thought about buying stuff by this artist and now I don't have to. This, well, I will, but I won't. This is 21 Singles. This is Jesus and the Mary Chain. I thought this 21 Singles, 84 through 98. So going back to, you know, the earlier stuff, Honey's Dead and those albums before that, Psycho Candy and all that stuff. Stoned and Dethroned, I'm sure there'll be some singles like that on here. I like Jesus and Mary Chain. I gotta admit, like, I've never done a deep dive. I've listened to Psycho Candy, I've listened to Honey's Dead, I've listened to some of those albums and I've really enjoyed them, but I've never been like, I have to have something by them. And now I have something by them, and it's really cool to have because I don't really, like I said, if I see their CDs, I usually buy them, which isn't often. But for vinyl, I've never really gone to look at buying anything by vinyl, and this kind of to me will. Not that it covers every song they ever did, but it kind of covers most of what I want. It's got 21 tracks on here. It's got Just Like Honey, Upside Down, Never Understand, some Candy Talkings on here, When It Rains, Dark Land, Sidewalking. Sidewalking is a great song. Reverence, Snake Driver is a great song, and of course Head On, which is an awesome song. Of course the Pixies redid that. But yeah, this is really, really cool to have this by the Jesus and Mary Chain. Like I said, this is one of the cooler bands that came out during the 80s, and and even into the 90s, and of course they were kind of considered cool back then. A lot of people think this is the greatest British band ever, besides, I mean, the Stones and Beatles, like from the 80s. I had superseding like The Cure, The Smiths, or fuck, I can't think of any other bands from England. There's a bunch of good ones, but those are the first two that come to mind. Not that they're my favorites, but those are only the first two that come to mind. I've seen people say that they think the best British band from the 80s is the Jesus and Mary Chain. So, double album, pretty fucking cool to have on vinyl, I think. I think that like what I showed you today is probably some of the best stuff I've shown over time, and maybe what I need to do is just, you know, I'm not going to, but maybe what I need to do is just show, like, let it collect, let it fester what I'm buying for a while, because I didn't show you a lot of stuff that was in the cheaper records. I didn't show you any CDs, because all the CDs I have I'm going to sell. So I don't think I have any CDs that are worth really like talking about that I've had. There are a bunch of like $2 CDs, and not that there is anything good in there, it's just that, you know, whatever. So that's it for me for tonight. Yeah, this feels good doing an update because, well, two things. Well, one, I haven't done one in a month, and two, like, I almost thought about quitting doing this because I started getting like less views and stuff like that. And not like, oh, woe is me, oh, I'm sorry, you know, not like that, but I was just like thinking, if I wanted to stop doing this, that would be the time, because I'm not getting a lot of views. But I don't think people, like, especially on my level, that don't have, I have 18 subscribers, and for each one of you that subscribes, thank you. But I don't have a ton of subscribers, so to me, like, my channel could fold and it wouldn't fucking matter, you know. So that's the kind of beauty I have right now. When I'm not getting a lot of views, I don't have a lot of subscribers, I can kind of dip out, you know, anytime I want. I don't really want to. I like doing this channel, so I'll continue to do it for at least an unforeseeable future. I'll just say real quick, and then I gotta scoot. Coming up, I'll have, you know, like I said, Sarasota Record Show, Tampa Record Show, whatever I get from those two halls. So it'll probably be in a few weeks, whatever I get for my birthday. And then Spooky Empire's coming up, so I'll do my spooky pickups. So I probably won't do another update for a few weeks. That'll be legit honest. I won't do one for a few weeks. And then after that, I will do probably whatever I pick up at these record shows, and then what I get at Spooky, and then, you know, of course, Black Friday, and then probably after Christmas. So I'll have at least 4, 5, 6, probably more episodes, more of these to tape throughout the rest of the year. Of course, Record Store Day, it's Black Friday, that kind of thing. But yeah, and then I'll revisit this at the end of the year and see if this is something I want to continue to do or not. And like I said, I don't care that people watch it or not. It's like, I guess just to me, it's like, I kind of want to keep doing this, even though I don't care if people are watching anymore. At first, I was really worried, like hyper focused on the views. Now I'm just like, fuck it, you know. Like, I just like doing this, and sometimes I watch my own videos, not out of narcissism, because I find it relaxing. You know, I mean, I don't think my views, my shows are any better than anybody else's, but like I sometimes watch this and I find it relaxing to me. So, all right, toodles. I'll see you guys later. Bye.